Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time and for being here. I will present myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Rita Duarte, and I am the chair of the Cost Greening Network, Green Sustainable Processes towards the industrial scale. So the objective of this network is to try to see which are the bottlenecks that are preventing green chemistry and sustainable processes to go from academia to the industry, and try to overcome them. So the objective of this session is to enlighten a little bit what is one of the tools that this cost action has, which are the short-term scientific missions. Our greenering network and our cost action started back in October 2019. So it was a little bit before COVID started. But despite this, we were able to have three short-term scientific missions that took place between October and April 2020. Two of the candidates for the short-term scientific missions were Raquel Casasola from Spain and Liliana Rodrigues from Portugal that went abroad. And this session is going to be mostly with them. So I will ask in a moment for Raquel and Liliana to introduce themselves and to explain a little bit what happened during their short-term scientific missions. And then the session is open to any questions that you may have. So this is supposed to be an informal session. You may ask questions in the chat, or you may ask the questions live as you want to any of the grantees, with the objective to try to see if you have any doubts and if you'd like any clarification on this networking tool, very interesting networking tool, if PhD students or early stage careers want to go for a period abroad. Either it's from academia to another academic institution, or if it is from the industry to academia, or vice versa. So thank you so much, Raquel and Liliana, for accepting the invitation to be here. I would like then to invite Raquel to present herself and tell us a little bit about her stay.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, thank you for inviting to this coffee with friends in order to explain my experience. So, well, my name is Raquel. I finished my PhD 7 years ago, more or less. I work for a very small company. We are indeed 16 people in all the company. Our company is the core business of our company is the recycling of batteries, all kinds of batteries. And in the R&D department, we are 4 people that we are investigating some new kinds and types of processes of recycling, reusing batteries, and so on, basically. I went to, well, my chief technical director was joined this cost action, well, he proposed me to go to this short-term scientific mission. So I went to the web page and look for the all the partners and look for the topic of research of every partner, because there is a wide there are many different topics in this cost action. So I saw that in Sweden, in Gothenburg, in the Chalmers University of Technology, there was a partner. She's Martina Petranikova, and she worked she's in recycling. Sorry, in lithium-ion batteries recycling. So this topic is well, important for us also, because we are trying to understand how to go on with this topic. Well, we contact her. We prepare the guidelines of the stay and the topics. I applied for the scientific mission, and I was lucky to have the opportunity to go to Sweden, and it was a very nice and enrichment experience, both from professional and also for personal point of view. It's always enrichment go abroad and see how other people in other countries work in more or less the same topic that you. What else? Well, people there was very nice, very friendly. I was well, it was a very nice experience for me. I learned a lot. Well, I will play again.
So, okay, thank you,
I
Raquel.
will
So
go again.
you had
I
a
don't
very
know.
positive
Yes, for
experience.
sure. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So now I would like to invite Liliana to tell us a little bit about her own personal experience. Liliana.
Sure. I have a small presentation to help me on this, so I'll share it with you. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Sorry. I'm sorry. Can you see it on slide presentation?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, Rita, for this introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. So I was asked to share with you my experience as one of the first STSM grantees from Greenwing, and that is what I'll try to do in the next few minutes. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Liliana Rodrigues. I am Portuguese, and I live in this beautiful city, Lisbon, Portugal. I graduated in chemical and biochemical engineering in 2014, after which I started working at IBET as a research fellow. Then in 2017, I had the opportunity to start my PhD work on the valorization of fish and shellfish processing waste streams using alternative solvents, having IBET and Nova School of Science and Technology as host institutions. Just for you to know a bit more about these two institutions, they are both based in the Lisbon metropolitan area. IBET is the largest private not-for-profit biotechnology research organization in Portugal. And Nova School of Science and Technology is one of the faculties of Nova University. So now that you already know a bit about me, let's talk about what you really want to know. What it's like to do a short-term scientific mission supported by cost action greenery. When I applied to the STSM at the end of 2019, I was already approaching the last year of my PhD. I had never had a mobility experience before, and I thought that this could be a good opportunity since I was almost at the end of my PhD and I had all these tight deadlines and I couldn't stay abroad for long if I wanted to meet all those deadlines. And that was it. I applied on December 2019. The application was accepted a few weeks later. And on February 2020, I was flying to Croatia, where I spent a month working with these incredible people at the Lab for Cell Culture Technology and Biotransformations at the University of Zagreb. And this is what I went there to do. As I previously mentioned, I have been working on the valorization of marine residues through the application of alternative solvents, such as pressurized fluids and hypothetic systems, or DES, for the recovery of high added value ingredients. For those of you who don't know, DES are defined as mixtures of two or more compounds that upon mixing at a certain ratio undergo a high melting point depression, as you can see in this short video. When comparing to conventional volatile organic solvents, there are several advantages of using a DES. However, since this is a rather recent class of solvents, it is also important to assess their safety and toxicity at different trophic levels before considering their potential for a particular application. At my lab, we have the knowledge and the tools to evaluate the toxicity of these systems towards cell lines, for example. However, we do not have the environmental toxicity tools that would allow us to evaluate the potential of DES to be used as clean solvents. So what I did was to look for a group that might have such tools and that would be willing to collaborate with us. And that is how I found the Lab for Cell Culture Technology and Biotransformations. The people there were really friendly and supportive, and fortunately everything went great. I was able to assess the phytotoxicity of 11 different DES towards wheat, even as COVID started spreading across Europe. Up until now, we have 2 papers prepared with the work that was done there. One is already submitted and the other one is almost ready for submission. So I think I can say that this is already a fruitful collaboration with a lot of room to grow in the future. And this is just another or an additional perk of doing an STSM, besides all the scientific knowledge, of course. If you are lucky enough to have some time off during a weekend or 3, like I did, maybe you can do some sightseeing and get to know a beautiful city or a country you didn't know much about. And that is what I had to share with you today. So let me just finish by thanking Cost Action Greenery for the opportunity and the funding. And a special thanks to the team of the Lab for Cell Culture Technology and Biotransformations of the University of Zagreb, particularly to Professor Ivana, Professor Cristina, and Manuela. I know she's attending this session, so thank you, Manuela. And thank you for listening. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Liliana, for sharing this with us and interesting topic. So now we also have here the coordinators of the short-term scientific missions, Erika Vagi and Christopher Held. I don't know, Erika and Christoph, would you like to say something about this tool, these missions?
Thank you very much, Rita. I don't know, maybe quickly, as you know, that is a short-term scientific mission. So basically you have 1 month maximum 1 month to spend with another research institute or a research lab or a university. It can be done from industry to uni or from uni to industry. We are supporting young PhD students or freshly finished PhD students, so young researchers really. Yes, we are very, very happy to see you, Liliana and Raquel, to be successfully doing this mission. I can see it's brilliant, and I'm really happy that you are having papers out of this work. So it's excellent to see. And I would encourage all young researchers try to apply, because the opportunity is open really almost everyone. So you just have to come up with some good research plan. You have to submit it. It needs to be approved by us, by Christophe and myself. But basically, I mean, what we received were almost all of them were supported. So we received really nice applications. Unfortunately, due to COVID and the restrictions, it's a bit difficult now, but we still encourage you and try to come forward, and because it's a really good experience, I believe it.
Thank you, Erika.
Maybe Christophe.
Christophe?
Yeah, from my side, I just can say thanks, you both of you, to the willingness to present yourself to us. I think it's really important to have some really personal experience. Some people we can talk with and we just can discuss with. And having said this, I just want to ask, maybe can you tell us about possible shortcomings, about negative points you see and where you can see and tell us potential increase of the impact of the STSMs. What can be done better? So are the days, maybe is it too long, the period, or is it too short, the period, or maybe things like that? Can you please comment on this?
Maybe I can.
Yes.
For me, I can say it was enough, but it was hard to complete all the work we proposed, because I was working with plants, and those plants had to grow for 7 days. And I evaluated 11 different DES. So it was enough, although if I had more time, I would have done more things, but it's more than enough for me, at least.
Okay, but I understand it right that if we would say you could have done in the half of time, you would not agree.
Yes, I couldn't. I mean, at least to evaluate all the solvents I proposed to evaluate. So maybe half the solvents, it would be possible. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, in my case, my stay was shorter than Liliana. I was 2 weeks and a half. I work hard there. I work a lot in the lab. But I think at the end, we could organize the work very, very well to do mainly the lab work there. That, well, those are the main limitations we have in a small company, in a very small company. We are, as I said before, we are 4 people in R&D department. The department in the Gothenburg University were 40 people. Only the department was bigger than my company. But in any case, I manage the time well, I think, for the experimental work. I keep in contact, obviously, with Natalia, with the people there. Indeed, we published recently a paper. So, well, it was fair enough, fair enough time.
Yeah, it's
for
very
me,
good.
In my case.
Yeah, it's very good to see that a company wants to publish the results. I think that is something very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, we are investigating and trying to know well, how to recycle lithium-ion batteries. I don't know if I said it before, from electric vehicles. So, well, electric vehicles are now on the top. So we think that is very interesting topic. And also, well, in the industry, we are looking more to the application or the profitability of the, but it was very important for us to have this kind of collaboration with an university that has base investigation, base research.
And do you plan also to make it the other way around? So to apply for another one to get some people from Sweden?
I can. It's very so. How to say? It's not the same because a university has more resources, more technique of analysis, for example, and we have more limited resources. So in my case, in my company case, I think it wouldn't be in the other side, it wouldn't be.
What would you need? I mean, if you talk about resources, you mean money.
Sorry?
If you talk about resource, you probably mean
yes.
Money or chemicals or
no. For example, we don't have. If we need to make some experiment, for example, XRD, or we have to took the samples, send the samples to another institution. So it's
okay, I see.
It's not worthy.
Okay.
I mean, but this is. I am talking about my own company. I don't know with the rest.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the audience here? I don't know if, for instance, Ivana or Manuela, do you want to share your experience as a host? How was it from your perspective to receive a visitor from a different institution? I don't know if it was, I think from what Liliana said, it was a new collaboration that was established, right? So also, how do you see this collaboration in the future?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. It was really nice to work with Liliana, and we are happy that she was here. Also, I'm a postdoc student, and after her experience, I applied for STSM. So I hope that I will have the opportunity to go in Portugal in June.
We hope so too.
And yeah, that's it. Really nice experience, and I'm really happy that Liliana managed to work everything. But I also think that maybe it could be a little bit longer than 1 month if it's possible. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
It's possible to perform experiment in 1 month, but it will be better if we have a little bit longer time. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Manuela. Well, we are hoping to welcome you here in Portugal in June. Hopefully everything is okay. I'm really happy to see that then other people, we have this effect that other people are inspired by the ones who started and also wanted to apply for this. We have a question here from Natalia. The maximum, yes, it is 30 days, as this is called a short-term scientific mission. Now the question is, and I don't know if Christoph or Erika maybe can answer better this, is it possible to go several times to the same host location, or are there any constraints regarding this?
Thank you for the question, Natalia. Actually, I think it happened with Raquel, no? That you wanted to go again. And because the number of mission is limited, in that case, we agreed with Raquel not to go again, although she wanted to go. But unfortunately, we had more applicants in that time frame who we wanted to support first. But what I think we said to Raquel, if I remember well, that if opportunity opens up again and we don't have as much applicants, then you can try again, or in a case of question. So if somebody would like to repeat this experience, and we have available position, is possible to do so, because you have to submit your new work proposal, and it will be evaluated again in the same way. So we are not looking, is it the same person and doing the same, obviously not going to do the same thing, obviously it's for doing something different. So I think it's possible. It depends on the number of applicants.
Yeah, it is of course possible. We have an evaluation matrix, and that point is a very strong point. And so if you are evaluated based on this point, rather on the sub level, but we still have enough money in that period, then it's granted.
Okay, thank you. And we can recall the participants here that we have calls open. So now would be a good timing for you to plan a short mission, even with the constraints, traveling for work. It's still possible in most of the places, well, as long as there's no lockdown in the countries that you want to go to. So you should consider your application. And there any other questions?
Just Rita, from myself, I'm sorry about the camera, it's not working, but this is Elvira from Spain, from INEA. I just want to thank you for sharing the experience, and perhaps it could be useful for others to have some hints or key points from your point of view about what were the most important things to take the most from the experience. Of course, planification and preparation, but maybe people could be, it would be worth it to look at scientific points, but maybe logistic could be more puzzling, or even cost estimation, or what cost, I mean money, or whatever the point, any point regarding that. I think that could be very interesting to have from your own experience, from both of you that have been very interesting. The scientific impact is clear, I think, so that is good news. So thank you for sharing anyway.
Raquel, Liliana, do you want to comment?
Sure. So I agree with Elvira. Planification is really important, especially because this is a short-term scientific mission. So you cannot plan for a week and arrive there and having nothing planned. So it's really important to plan before you go. Regarding my personal experience, aside from the scientific knowledge, I think the first point is that I could establish a new collaboration. This collaboration did not exist, and that's the first point that I highlight from this mission. Listening to Manuela, I also realized that me going there inspired her to apply as well, so that's also a good thing. And then the people I met there, they are all amazing, very good professionals. They work in a very different way from us at my lab, so they made me learn in a different way that I was not used to. We had to be very resourceful. We had to improvise a lot because imagine I was working with plants, right? So we had to do everything in duplicate, test 5 concentrations of each solvent. So imagine the space that we required for the experiment. So we had to use a cabinet with a lamp, and all the petri dishes on the floor spread across that cabinet, just to make sure that we could finish on time. So resourcefulness is another interesting point. I think that's it for me. Raquel, maybe you can share your experience now.
Well, I subscribe what Liliana has said. I was being abroad before during my PhD. I was during 3 months in Italy, and those things of to learn different ways of work, to the experience, the personal experience to live abroad, to have problems, to have to solve, to is a very enrichment experience. And also I think from the professional point of view, I think that it's very important to see different ways of work. I learned that in my first stay in Italy, and then when I went to Sweden, I was aware before going that how it was going to be, because I had the previous experience, and I pretty recommend everybody that go abroad that have the experience, because it's also for the possible collaborations and network, it's very important.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Any other questions from the audience? No. So I was wondering, so you, Raquel, you already mentioned a little bit that the company that you are working is in the COST network, right? And this is how you learn from these short-term scientific missions. Liliana, I believe it's also the case of IBET, right?
Yes, I think so. I learned about it through the head of my lab. She became aware of the STSM and then advertised it to our group.
Yeah, okay. So, but just to make sure, you don't have to belong to the COST network to participate in any of the activities. All the activities are listed in the Green Ring website, and you are free to apply. So anybody within any country that belongs to this network, it does not necessarily need to have a particular institution. They can apply to go to any other country and it does not have to be another institution in that particular country. It can be any institution. So if I go from Portugal to Spain, I don't necessarily need to go to the institutions listed in Spain that belong to the cost action, but I can go to another institution. Okay, so this is something that most of the people have. And answering to the question of Venicia Numa, is there a list of labs to apply for if we want to do a short-term scientific mission? No, there is not a list of any labs. So it is the participant, it is the applicant that needs, together with the either the supervisor or the coordinator or whomever, that needs to discuss what is the activity plans that is foreseen and what is the best host institution for them to come. I think that most of the partners from the cost network are willing to receive participants. And it's not a problem, but you need to establish your own collaboration beforehand. And another question is, Erika, I'm not really sure if this is this limited to PhD students, or can master students also go on short-term scientific missions?
I do have a slight feeling that is only limited for PhD and above PhD.
And early stage careers, yeah.
Yeah, early stage, yeah.
Any other question? Okay, so I guess if there are no other questions, this was all. Yes, Erika.
Sorry, I just have one about, I was always wondering that how this financial things was going through, like, you have to apply, you have to calculate how much money you're going to spend, you come up with the budget, and then I guess you have to pre-finance your travel and your stay, and you will get the amount of money afterwards. Yes, was it working correctly for you? Was it fast enough, or is there anything what you can maybe add for those who are wondering to go?
Yeah, it was exactly like you said. So you just come up with a budget that you feel it's compatible with your expenses, with your general expenses. Well, only for accommodation and food and the stuff like that. So it doesn't covers the expenses of the research per se. I think that's an important point. And then after you deliver the report, they are really quick in returning the money. So everything went okay for me.
That's a great thing to know. That's good. And how did you find accommodation? Did your host partners help you to find one, or how was that?
Well, in my case, the payment was once I submit the final report. It was quick. There was no problem with the money. You have to pay in advance, but then you don't have any problem. And regarding the accommodation, I directly asked my institution for a accommodation, because I haven't been never in Sweden, so I asked them directly, and they help me. They recommend me one apartment, and it was fine. It was easy for us. Yeah, I guess.
That's good.
I think there is an option when you apply, to ask for 50% of the money in advance. So, but you always have to pay for the travel, for example, and as soon as the short-term scientific mission starts, you receive half of the value, but you need to do that when you apply, right? Because I think there was some discussion about this with some of the candidates that would like to have this, but it can only be if you apply for that in advance. And
yes, I can't remember something of that, but in my case, I didn't. I choose the other option, so to pay in advance and then get the money. But perfect, there was no problem.
And you didn't have to show your tickets and things like that. No, it's not required.
No, it's not. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Anybody else? There is a question here, I think.
Yeah, there
is there a limit date for applying? Yes, we are. So now at the moment we are having some cutoff dates. You can check all the details in our website. I can write it down here, the website, if you want to check this out.
But actually, I think the next deadline is tomorrow, and then middle of May, 15th of May, and maybe 15th of June.
Yeah.
So this I think we set up the dates.
Yeah, we set up the dates for different time periods, also depending on the traveling dates. Also because this grant period from course is going to finish on the 31st of October. So all the missions need to be finished by September.
End of September,
yeah. So for now and during these periods, still with the COVID, there are not that many applications. So if you are really interested and if you are able to go, it's, I believe, a good timing to apply for these short-term scientific missions, as there is quite some budget available for these missions, and so far we didn't have that many applicants. So you take this information. Yeah, so I think that if there are no further questions, we will close this session. I would thank very much Raquel and Liliana for taking the time to be here and share with us the experience and be able to answer these questions. And also I would like to thank Erica for coordinating these STSM's applications and all the procedures. Okay, so thank you very much for all of you for being here. And we hope that you do actively participate in the Coast Greenery Network. If you ever want to know more, just check our website, or you can send us an email for the contacts that are listed on the website as well. Okay. So thank you very much, and take care.
Yes, thank you, Rita.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to know you and to see you. Thank you for the opportunity.
And good luck with the future research.
The same.
Yes.
Take care. Be safe.
Yeah.